All right then, let's do this. Hello, everybody. Looking at the sound. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. All right, hearing myself back. Cool, let's do this. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having an awesome Friday from Magdalena in the chat. Hi, Magdalena. Thank you. Happy Friday to you too. Cool. So, all right then. The way today is going to work is I'd like to start with addressing some open PRs and some issues I'd like to see if we can work on. So we're going to be working on Narwhals. And yeah, I think this is about as big as I can. Yeah, this is probably about as big as I can make the screen. Okay, here we go. Got a few open things. Let's see how many we can get through. And if there's any requests, anything that anyone wants to ask. I'm especially curious to hear about the study group, so if there's any questions on the back of that, then feel free to ask, and we can see if we can address them. All right, got a few things. So I was really excited about this schema2 methods, so we're going to try that one. And let's take a look at these typing ones. So for the schema2, I think I definitely want to try coding this one. Definitely want to try pulling it and try playing around with it. But these typing ones should be fine. And I know that a different one was merged earlier, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. So I'll just try to understand that one first. So here the idea is just that inside to native. Oh, right, this is just the change that Dan had made previously and is now just backported it to the V1. Yeah, this makes sense. Nice. Then, so the new one is this one here. So we're importing yeah, I'm curious here about this redundant alias, like into series as into series T. All uses of into series T in the module. All right. Well, I mean, if this is unused, we can add it to dunder all, I believe. Okay, let's try pulling this. Yeah, let's try running it. So let's see if we're able to, for once, get the code showing properly. So let's go into the Narwhals and let's share that. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So I think I've got Dan's remote, so I'll start by fetching from Dan's remote. Dan is the person who made the pull request. I'd then like to take a look at this branch, backport overload from native. Hey, we've got James Powell in the chat. Looks like we've got a celebrity joining us today. Cool, nice. Hi, James. Although it does say message retracted, so I don't know exactly what James said. Hello, Stelios here. Nice. Curious to hear about the study session, Stelios, and if any questions came out of that. And another celebrity, Cameron. Hi, Cameron. Happy Friday to you too. Cool. Oh, wow. Modifiers. Ah, yeah, right. I was just experimenting with some silly things, which we can get rid of. So let's check out to backport overload from native. Let's go here into init. And so here we're doing this redundant import. Let's just check what the issue is. Let's run rough on all files. It all passes, okay. And if we were to remove this alias, then it's imported or unused. So, right, okay, I see. So the issue is that Dan, the contributor here, wouldn't want to break anyone's code because currently, if you do from narwhals.stable.v1 import into series T, then it does actually run. But if we were to remove this, then all of a sudden it wouldn't. So there's one way to determine whether we can go ahead and make this change. And I'm going to do the search in GitHub. Let's see if anyone's actually using this pattern. And if not, then, well, we weren't explicitly exporting this in dunder all anyway, so I think it would be fine to remove. So let's try. I want to search exactly for from narwhals.stable.v1 import into series T. And this shows up exactly nowhere. Let's just double check for, right, so if we search just for this one, import dataframe, expra, wait, what? Oh, so somebody's streamed it thing. It's not actually streamed it using it, okay. Yeah, we do find imports, usually from within the Narwhals source code, but still, like, people are importing D types, but nobody is importing into series T. Right. Right, so this one wasn't exported in dunder all before. Nobody's using it. We might also want to do a quick check for nw.into series T. Oh, lol. Francesco is using it here in a pull request that he made to himself. Ah, okay, but he's just suggesting to have it. He's not actually using it. And we've now got it in nw.typing, so I think this is okay. I think we're okay to remove this. In the chat, some questions were... Okay, cool. I see in the chat Stelios is saying there's some questions for next week's community call, but yeah, you're welcome to ask some questions here in the chat as well if you prefer. So okay, yeah, so thanks for the attention to detail here. Agree that as into series T wasn't explicitly exported in all, and that there's no usage, no public usage of it on GitHub, it should be fine to just remove. Let's take a look at the rest of the pull request. Yeah, this makes... Yeah, this makes sense because here in V1, series wasn't generic, and we couldn't make it generic because it would mess some things up for some Narwhals consumers. And we really want to keep things as stable as possible for them. So I think I'm just going to remove this unused import. And let's just push to their branch and ship it. Okay, push. Okay, and I really want to encourage this. I really want as much typing as possible. Hi there. They are saying hi in the chat. Like, really want to improve the typing. I think it just helps make the project more robust, helps make it simpler. Because typing is a bit hard. And so if you force everything to be typed, it kind of prevents you from doing the craziest hacks and the craziest things. So I think typing can be good for keeping things under control. And a few contributors have said that having the types helped the internal code to be clearer to them. So I'm really into improving static types. So yeah, any pull request that improves it is definitely welcome. And I really want to encourage Dan because he's an absolute expert in typing. So let's make that explicit. So I'm super favorable to any PR to improve static typing. So more of these if they interest you. Would love to improve typing in Narwhals. All right, let's ship it. Let's see which gift they get this time. Okay. Ah, nice. Got a reaction already from Dan. So I definitely want this one. And then I really want to try out this one here of schema too. This one's pretty cool, where we can just make some Narwhal schema and then convert it to a pandas schema, convert it to a polars schema, to a PyArrow one. Like, this is really nice. I kind of struggle with PyArrow schemas when I've had to write them. And I think if you make a tool which you would want to use, then that's a pretty good sign that it's going to be useful to other people as well. Like, make something that's useful to you and share it. Okay, some things in progress. While it's in progress, then let's fetch this other PR, schema convert API. So fetch done.band, check out schema convert API. And I'm just going to try using it how I think it's meant to be used. So if I make something like schema A 64, B is going to be a string, C is going to be date time, millisecond, Asia Kathmandu, my favorite time zone in the world. Let's see. Okay, so here we've got this Narwhals schema. If I then do like 2 pandas, oh, required keyword-only arguments, backend and version. Am I up to date? Maybe I need to pull. Let's try that again. I thought I'd commented on that, so I might just be out of date. Let's try this again. Ooh, nice. Look at that. Oh, this is well good. Nice. And if I put dtype backend equals PyArrow, it's not exactly what I was expecting to see. So let's take a look. Why didn't this do what I thought it would do? Oh, it needs to be PyArrow -nullable. Wait, is that really what it's like in pandas? So like if we do pad.read CSV, as pd print pd.read CSV doc. And dtype, oh no, yeah, dtype backend is just PyArrow here. Yeah, it should just be PyArrow. The other thing is it should raise if it's not the right one. So is none, or if it's a string. So okay, so they're reusing this Narwhals to native type from pandas like utils, and they're passing in what? Yeah, we can just do implementation.pandas. Pass version. Yeah, we do actually need to pass this. I don't think there's any way around that. And yeah, version is just going to be self.version. Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah. And the other thing is then, so if it's none string, this is the part I'm not sure I agree with. Well, iterable string. Well, I don't think. Do we want this kind of complexity? Because like in pandas read CSV, we don't have this kind of complexity. It's just you pass a single dtype backend. So I kind of want to push back on this. And then, okay, once we're in here, I Yeah, okay, so we're going here in the else. So we should validate dtype backend. Okay, so yeah, there's a few things. Few things we need to do. Yeah, I love this functionality. I really, really would like to see this in Narwhals. This is a great feature. I mean, just to appreciate it, like, now that we've got our schema, you can also just do like I guess it's to arrow. Yeah, this also, yeah, I'm also not sure. Because technically it's to PyArrow. But then in the series, we've got to arrow. So I guess it's fine to be compatible with that. Like if we didn't return this, I wonder what else we could be returning. It's probably fine to have to arrow. And if series to arrow needs renaming to PyArrow at some point, then I guess we just deprecate this one as well. No issue, but until then, it's probably good to keep them consistent. So, okay, let's do that. And this is really nice. It's really difficult to, yeah, it's really difficult for me at least to write PyArrow schemas. So this is really nice. Really happy to see this. So yeah, let's just leave some comments. So there was one thing we did, which was like the implementation. So to pandas. So this could just be implementation.pandas, right? Like, why are we doing an extra step? Do you have a use case for passing multiple? Well, I guess one question would be, what if there's a date type that's not supported by PyArrow, such as categorical? What happens then? Let's try that. Categorical dot to does dtype backend equals PyArrow nullable. And this just goes to regular category. So if we had something which is PyArrow, supported by PyArrow, like int64, then this one becomes the int64 variant, whereas categorical just stays as regular categorical. Okay, I think this is what I'd expect. So I don't think there's any need for these multiple backends. If not, I'd suggest we only support string or string, and the default, like we don't even need string or none. We can just use the default. What's the default in pandas? Which reminds me, I had a little branch. I wanted to make a little PR from it to simplify some things. Maybe let's do that and then get back to reviews. So in pandas, dtype backend can be numpy nullable or PyArrow or none. Okay, there's no, yeah. You can't just pass that it needs to be the classical numpy one. Nice. I do appreciate Dan's sense of humor. There is a failing test. Why? Oh, there's a failing test due to this is the new IBIS release. right? I think both failures are related to that. So we've got ibis test and then interchange schema ibis. Yeah, cool. Let's ship it. Yeah. Also, just to triple check, all of the downstream ones were fine, right? The only one that was failing is this ibis one. Yeah, okay. We'll handle that in a separate PR. Bit surprised by this change, but whatever. Thanks, Dan. CI failure is unrelated and due to the latest ibis release. Let's ship it. Oh wait, did I give 2 approvals? Oh, whoops, yes. Oh well. Extra. I've never had anyone complain about too many cat gifs. Not yet, at least. So, yeah, then here I was going to say, first of all, I want to comment, yeah, this should just be implementation to pandas. Yeah. String or none equals none. Like this, we keep complexity down, match dtype backend in pandas API example read CSV. Because if we did want to support multiple backend dtypes, there's an argument that we should also support mapping. Can we start with just the simplest case, please? Okay. And then the other thing is that this is a divergence. Yeah, this is a divergence. So we're from the pandas names here. Should we just use PyArrow and pandas? Non-py nullable. Yeah, I'm getting some recollection that this might be changing in pandas as well. So maybe let's check that first, pandas. I think there was some issue. Dtype backend. Pandas nullable. Ah, right, here it is, new name. Masked, really? But also, yeah, typical Brock response, a single syllable mass. Okay, yeah, typical pandas discussion. Okay, at some point, this might be renamed in pandas. And I guess we should just accept all names. I think maybe we can just advertise whichever ones pandas goes to, and then we silently accept the others as aliases. Let's use the NumPy nullable. Let's start with the current names. I'd say NumPy nullable and PyArrow. Whoops, PyArrow and NumPy nullable. Like this, they match the current pandas names. Pandas then renames as is suggested in here. Then we can change to advertise the new names in the docstring, advertise to use, so not advertise, let's change to use the new names in the docstring, but still silently support the old ones so as to not break anyone's code. That was the other comment I had. And finally, there's a comment I wanted to make about how this should raise if somebody passes a non-supported D-type backend. So this means, yeah, we'd need to rename the D-type backend values we use internally in Narwhals / dunder pandas like / utils. Yeah, I'm such a hypocrite. I always tell people that utils is a bad file name, but then we've got utils in a few places in Narwhals. But that would just be an internal change, so we're okay to just do it. We should also raise if an unexpected backend is passed. So I do want to show some appreciation for this feature. So thanks, Dan. Awesome feature. Can't wait to use this, as I find it super difficult to write PyArrow schemas. Yeah, I've just left some comments, but I think we can ship this quite soon. Before I leave this, though, he had left some comments in line, so let's read through them, check if there's anything I haven't responded to. I'd make this positional only. Positional only. I think it's fine for it to be positional or keyword. Yeah, we don't use positional only much. I'm not averse to using positional only, but yeah, I don't think it hurts for somebody to write D-type backend. So yeah, I responded to that. I think there was a longer one that we need. Here it is. Ooh, this is a bit complicated. IT. What's IT? Items. Iterable. Could we spell this variable name out A bit more, please, rather than just it. So the schema or any annotation is the result of this. Schema or dict string Polar's data type. To be honest, I think it's fine to type as if someone is using the latest polars. I think it's fine to type as if users are using the latest polars version. If they're on an old polars version that doesn't have the l.schema, then the type checker would just resolve it as anyway, as far as I know. Right, we've got the doc test skip. Right, well, also, yeah, we only run doc tests on the latest versions. So I think it's fine to remove the doc test skip too. Right, awesome feature. Yeah, I can ship this quite soon. Nice. Let's approve. Let's then take a break, and then let's get back to doing some awesome stuff. But yeah, love the look of this. This is going to be a really nice feature. Let's give it an enhancement label. Cool. Let's get back to business. Yeah, let's do this. Also, just realized my mic wasn't actually using my mic before. Let's see if this is any better. And hello, Ahmad in the chat. You're testing Narwhals on Glue. Glue. Is this like an AWS thing? Yeah, this sounds better. Okay, AWS Glue is a serverless data integration service. Cool. What are you doing with Narwhals on Glue? Really curious. But yeah, thanks for testing it out. Yeah, Akmal is, yeah, for people not familiar with Akmal, he's written a really nice library which does data validation for different libraries. And yeah, it uses Narwhals under the hood. So it supports libraries that are supported by Narwhals. And yeah, this is the kind of thing it lets you do, validate that your input meets certain conditions. And yeah, it looks like it's put some nice effort into providing some nice output. So yeah, hope this goes well. Official shout out. Yeah. So ETL, you're using Narwhals for the T part. That's cool. Like with which backend? Because I remember that you were interested in PySpark, Akmal. So yeah, curious if you've tried that and if it's working. Okay, so I'd left a little. What was it? Yeah, there was a little branch I'd made about cleaning some stuff up. Oh, PySpark, nice. Really curious to hear how that works. I think we support most basic and useful things with PySpark. What we don't have are order-dependent operations yet. I'd really like to support those, though. Quite exciting. Bit of a busy period at the moment. Moving house this month, so I don't plan to take on anything too crazy. But yeah, later in the year, definitely want to take the PySpark thing further. And by PySpark, I mean PySpark, SQL Frame, DuckDB. Without going too crazy, really want to keep Narwhals lightweight. We've got an issue about that, actually, like trying to reduce the package size. And I think the biggest, most important steps we can do for that is to just make the doc strings more concise. Once we've done that, once the package size is a bit more under control, then I think we'll have the headspace to think about new features as well. Anyway, first, let's go to this isDuplicated branch. And while we're here, as a drive-by, let's also fix up the IBIS tests. So let's merge upstream main. Now, IBIS returns a tuple instead of a list for their column names. Seems like a nice change, and maybe it's a little surprising that other libraries don't do that. Nonetheless, I don't really want to break. I don't think it's significant of a change that it's worth departing from Polus for. Like if Polus were to change, then I think we could also consider changing, but for now it's okay. So the way we're going to make this change is by going into dataframe in IBIS, where we've got columns. I thought we had columns. Okay, and here we're just going to return a list. Ibis fix-up. Okay, here in the chat, data scientist was super excited that he didn't have to write PySpark when I introduced Narwhals. Nice, but PySpark does let you do a lot. So, the bottom of the screen is a bit too cropped. Thanks, Cam, for pointing that out. Yeah, that is true. Let's see if we can improve that. Thanks. Yeah, this should be better. Cool. Yeah, thanks, Cam. Yeah, that's a huge win. But yeah, PySpark does let you do a ton of things. So I'm curious to hear about whether what we support in Narwhals was extensive enough for the use cases you had. And yeah, if not, then what's missing? I'd like to think that we can provide enough in Narwhals to address, I don't know, 90% of PySpark, DuckDB usage. And for the rest of the 10%, just use those tools directly. Like, Narwhals is not intended to be the API to kill all APIs. But if we can, I think it can be an API that's extensive enough to be useful. Right, where were we? Ibis fixed up, and then let's merge upstream main. I probably did this already, but I've forgotten. Real world use case is the best, yeah. That's it, use case driven development. Did I not push yet? Yeah, let's push. Prod is the best test environment. No, joking about, like, regards to tests, like, we've got this folder here of TPCH tests, and just checking that those run has been super useful. Like, it's just so easy to forget about things, to test things. Like, I remember there was some bug whereby we didn't handle column names which had more than one character. And that's because in all of our tests, the test data frames were all like A123, B156. I mean, it's my fault because I write tests like that. But having these more realistic queries has been super useful. So that's why I've got this issue open. I'm going to make a call for contributions on air, which is, can we add some tests from, where is it? Modern polars. Like, Modern polars is a really nice resource, good for learning polars. But they've also got some fairly nice kind of end-to-end examples where you've got an actual data set, you're doing some realistic transformations on it. So yeah, like here, this isn't just like a single unit test checking a single thing. To get this working, you need to check that multiple things all work well together. So it would be really useful to put some tests derived from these into the into the test space. Okay. Some funny comments here in the chat. LGTM reviews, yeah, seen that. When validupc in test CI? Do we not test validupc in CI? GitHub downstream. I mean, if we don't, then we definitely should do. We don't. We definitely need an issue about it then. So let's make that test. Add validupc to downstream tests. So validupc. I have some recollection that I'd mentioned this library, and Magdalena maybe had said that in Polish, it sounded like a rude word, something like that. I can't remember, but just something you might want to be aware of. I think it's okay. I don't think you need to rename the library for this, and if nothing else, it might make Polish people laugh when they see it. So has been really helpful for finding some issues with Narwhals, especially in PySpark and DuckDB. I think we should add it to our downstream tests. I mean, I think the tests here are fast enough, right? 14 minutes. Is this because it's Windows? Wow, this is wild. Run tests 13 minutes on Windows. And then 1 minute on Linux. Why is this? Yeah, low-hanging PR. Yeah, we'll add a note about that. Though that the Windows CI is really slow, but the Linux one is quite fast. We could add the Linux tests. So I'm really keen that downstream CI tests be no slower than our internal CI. It's slow due to Spark on Windows. Okay, should be fine then, thanks. So tests, help wanted. Yeah, contributions definitely welcome towards this. I'm blogging that too much. And yeah, also curious to see if people find anything useful here in this modern bolus. Like, I think we should be able to support most things. Plotting, Seaborn, the one. So we're now at the point where Altair, Plotly, and Bouquet are all using Narwhals. So the only major visualization library that I'm aware of not using Narwhals is this one, Seaborn, who calls Narwhals a complete non-starter. But whatever. I mean, I can't complain. It's their decision. What is this though? 2 pandas and then plot. Should not be necessary. Right. Yeah. So let's open this PR. This just gets rid of etc. Reduce duplication. Implement more methods at the Narwhals level rather than at the compliant level. Fix CI from IBIS release. So here in the chat, Seaborn is a fancy matplotlib, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a really nice wrapper around matplotlib. So it makes it really convenient, whereas the matplotlib API, you can do almost anything with it, but it's a bit less user-friendly. Did I talk to Seaborn people about Narwhals? I think Seaborn is mostly one person, who's this Michael Wascombe. I didn't even speak to him about it. Like, somebody else opened an issue asking if he'd be open to using Narwhals, and his response was that Narwhals is a complete non-starter, which is the kind of response which doesn't really invite much discussion, so I didn't take it any further than that. Okay, yeah, simplifying things here. Like, is between. We don't need to re-implement this one for all backends. It's literally just you can just compare it with the lower bound and the upper bound. I think that's okay. Is duplicated can just be the negation of is unique. here, but we've got like string or list of string. Like we shouldn't. I don't want this kind of complexity at the compliant level. We shouldn't have to keep repassing string or list of strings for every backend. Just do this there in at the Narwhals level and reduce the amount of code we have. Not so much because of package size. I don't think this makes a significant dent on package size, but because it's just code. Like all code has the possibility of having bugs. All code is, I don't want to say that all code is rubbish, but all code has the potential to be rubbish. And so I think ideally we want as little code as possible. Because, yeah, rather than re-implementing this for all backends, there's better things we could be doing with our time. Like is empty. We can just check len of self and compare it with 0. Don't need to re-implement that everywhere. Null count can just be like nw.all.null count. It's just a convenience method. Stats models. Narwhals may come up short for some of the statistics. I don't think it's a technical limitation. I think here the limitation is just social. Because the stats models uses the array interface, which Narwhals does expose. So there shouldn't be any issue with calling stats models on a Narwhals series. I think it's really just a social difficulty, like the C1 maintainer doesn't want to think about data frames. He's fine with pandas. And that's his decision. There's not much we can do to sway him. Then this was a bit strange before. Like we had string or none, and if it was none, we would set it to variable. Like, I don't know why Polus does this as well. Like just set it to string and put the default. There's no need to have none there. I might make that PR to Polus as well. So column name as expression, yeah, definitely. That library is such a mess. Stats models. I remember it, the MPI being fairly messy, to be fair, a few years ago. Don't know if it's changed, but also like it's a kind of library that I'm not super interested in targeting with Narwhals, just because a bit like with Cbon, like the maintainer is maybe a little bit difficult to communicate with on these kinds of issues. Like they're both fine with pandas and are fine with staying tied to it, and that's their decision. Like it's their project, and yeah, they can make whatever decision they feel is best for their project. If anything, I'm surprised that there are projects which are not responding to Narwhals the way that Cbon is. Like the fact that any library exists which is actually willing to use it, to me, is a huge surprise and not something I would ever have expected to happen so quickly when I started this project. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with this. Let's see if CI passes. Oh, really? I didn't know this. So in the chat, Cam says that stats models used to be part of SciPy. I mean, SciPy is already pretty huge as it is. So there's 2 failing. That's annoying. So one is this full coverage one, and then the pre-commit CI, really? Okay, going to run pre-commit now, but we are also having discussions about removing pre-commit, or at least taking MyPy out of pre-commit. The reason I started using Nixtla, yeah, Nixtla is pretty awesome. They've got some good things. The craziest thing for me about Nixtla is that everything is developed using Jupyter notebooks. Like, I'm just amazed that this is possible. Why is this, yeah, string on this should be just string. We're just adding extra code for no reason here. Okay. Recommit. Okay, done that. There was something else though. Something else was failing. Let's take a look. Oh, Dask isn't covered. 290. Nice. Get rid of this. Great news. Yes. It's so good. Okay. Remove useless code. But then you make a modification and use nbdev for everything. Macman in the chat. Yeah, I think that if you make a modification, you need to do everything using nbdev. Like, I think I did make a pull request to them at some point, and I was really not sold on this nbdev. But I think VS Code has just got so far. Like, not just VS Code, like even pretty much all editors. Like, they're just so good. They're just making such incredible strides forwards. And I'm just not seeing those same strides forwards in Jupyter. With all due respect to the project, I think it's just got different goals. And I don't think being an IDE is one of their goals. So it's a bit surprising to me that big, important projects like Nixta are being developed in Jupyter Notebooks. Partial to using JubyText to keep the notebooks in Markdown, and then I can use Git directly. Yeah, JubyText is pretty cool. Also going to take the chance to plug my Lockdown project, which was also the first project I ever open sourced, NBQA, which I think is now mostly superseded by Rough. So I don't think there's much point in using it, but it still seems to get some users for some reason. Okay, where were we? Okay, CI is building here. Yeah, let's mark it as ready for review, see if anyone has any comments. And then let's see if there's anything else we can take a look at. Yeah, well, says his kernel was crashing nonstop, so just found a way around nbdev. Yeah, seems wise. Okay, what's this? Fixed type in get item. All right, let's see what's going. Oh gosh. Okay, well, yeah, nice if this can be simplified. So string or tuple of yeah, sure, makes sense. We should handle, yeah, I think we handled numpy arrays. This is really good. So what we're left with is one overload for when it returns a series. And then we've got another overload for when it returns self. I have to go. Great weekend. Thanks, Dare. All the best. I don't think I've got enough brain power to make sense of this, so let's make it a split view. So we've got one overload now for that case. And then another overload. And then the definition. Yeah, this makes sense. I mean, I think this should be fine. Oh, nice. Parameterizing over these. Nice. I like that. I like this. Nice. Okay, gonna take a short break, then we'll be back, and I think we can ship this. Right, that's enough messing around. Let's get back to it. Okay, yeah, some chat here about what we use Jupyter Notebooks. I'm also curious whether people have tried Marimo. I have used it a fair bit and think it's really nice. Oops, Marimo. The next generation Python notebook. They also use Narwhals, fun fact, but I think it's really good. Really recommend it. Not a fan of Jupyter in general, sure, but like if you just want to explore things, if you just want to make plots, then do you find that it works? Like sometimes you just need to plot things. And if I do need to do that, then I've come to really appreciate Marimo, especially how once you modify one cell, it automatically knows which cells to rerun. And it's just a really nice experience. I'd like to check this PR out because I'm pretty sure we do in fact support NumPy arrays in getItem. Don't make plots anymore. Sorry about that. Because plots are quite fun, but yeah, I heard someone say that if dataframe APIs are messy, then plotting really feels like a Wild West. So let's just try this out. Import Narwhals, import pandas. Let's just import pandas, and then we can easily convert to the others. So yeah, let's do this, and let's also import NumPy. So cuDF, and then if we do, let's say 0, 2, can we also pass an array with that? So this works. Yeah, NumPy array is supported here for polars. What about for pandas? Yeah, it works for pandas. What about to arrow? Got a feeling it might not. Yeah, it works. Okay, so we do support NumPy. Nice. Matplotlib has been around since 2002. Yeah, this is crazy. It's like it's older than NumPy. Kind of hard to get your head around that. Like to me, Python is NumPy. I cannot imagine using Python without NumPy. And to be honest, I think Matplotlib is quite nice, and that some people criticize it way too much. Although I have heard from unnamed sources that their community calls can get pretty heated. Like when you're there calling pl.plot, I don't think you appreciate just how much blood, sweat, and tears is going on behind it. Right, so, yep. Yeah. NumPy array is supported. I think we've also probably got a test that we can point to. thought we did. Maybe in this very misleading get item test here. Lol. Why did I call it gather? Anyway, yeah, looks like we are definitely testing this. So I think that's okay. And I think this is what the PR deals with, right? Dataframe.getItem. Yeah, we're supporting NumPy. So I'd like to copy this and show it as evidence. In theory, we're just expanding the allowed types. Yeah, I think this is totally fine. Yep, totally allowed. Adding types is still backwards compatible. Be backwards compatible. But yeah, I really like this. Let's see if there's any other context I'm missing related to the MyPy discussion. Yeah, should be good. Let's just check. What's this CI failure? Is it the IBIS one? If so, then we fixed that one already. Yeah. Let's call it fix. So thanks, Edo. Yeah, Edo, someone you can always count on to make things cleaner and more organized. So much appreciate this. And Dan for reviewing. Let's ship it. Okay. What else we got going on? Oh, this one's. Why is this one red? Duck tests. Wait, what? What? No way. Do we have a test failure that is only caught by a duck test? This is wild. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the change again. So what change did we make in Arrow? Yeah, this is this for Arrow series? Series that is unique. Yeah, we haven't changed anything. Yeah, we haven't changed anything there. So the only explanation I can have is that it might be something we changed at the Narwhals level. And here we're saying not is unique. Wow. This is quite interesting. And it feels like we found an inconsistency. PyArrow gave you back a Boolean array instead of a chunked array. That is what it looks like, but in Narwhals, series are backed by chunked arrays, and I think I'd like to keep it that way. So let's just check out to main for a second. Let's check where we are at right now. PyArrow as PA, import Narwhals as NW. Then we're going to do NW from native, k.table, 112. Let's put eager only. A.is. Let's just check it first. So now it's a chunked array. We do is unique, and we get a chunked array, and we do is duplicated. Then we get a chunked array as well. And if we invert, we still get a chunked array. And if we invert is unique, still get a chunked array. What? So why is it that here, all of a sudden, it's different? So now, if we go here and do is duplicated, this gives us a chunked array. But if we do is unique, it gives us a Boolean array. Wow. Oh, it's unique to Python 3.13 because that's the CI job on which we run the doc tests. The fact that this is only caught by a doc test, well, for one thing, confirms that it's really good to run doc tests. But for another thing, it says that we're missing some internal assertion when we reach the actual tests that our Narwhals series should be backed by chunked arrays and not just regular PyArrow arrays. Let's just keep things consistent. Right, so yeah, why is this changing? So so now we don't have is duplicated here. We've only got is unique. What about if we do this at the frame level? Is unique. Ooh, look at that. A frame also returns Boolean array. This needs sorting out. Data frame arrow. Def is unique. Okay, so this here, I mean, we're creating an arrow series here. And I thought that here we were doing some check, like that if it's not a chunked array, then we made it a chunked array. I think you can always call chunked array. Let's just validate this. Import PyArrow as play. So then array is going to be array 1, 2, 3, and then chunked array is going to be like some array with 2 chunks. So if I call chunked array on an arrow array, yeah, it just works. It just gives us it makes sure that we've got a chunked array with just that single array as a single chunked. And if we call chunked array on something that's already a chunked array, it just keeps it as it is. So it should be fine to just call a chunked array here. Nice. Okay, so now if we run the doc tests, then everything fails. Oh, yeah, what am I? I've got some old version of something. What do I need to install? Let's review Acro docs. Cool, now it passes. But it's not good enough. Fix up doc tests. Where can we check this? So is unique test. I think you're missing the square brackets. I don't think we need the square brackets. Like, it should be fine to call chunked array on an arrow array directly. So the row index is a standard array, so operating on it will likely return the same. Sorry, I've forgotten what we're talking about. Let's just check the tests here. Like, is unique. Assert equal data. So here we've got the result. And I'd like to have a little assertion that, to comparable list column values. So if is instance column values pa dot array, then let's raise. So did not expect to see arrow array here. This is just an internal error, so I think it's okay. Let's run the tests. It's nice that now we've got this constructors flag, so we can quickly run all the tests for a given library. Like now for PyArrow, we can run all the PyArrow tests in 7 seconds, which is pretty nice. And let's just check whether removing this would cause the test to fail. This is one of those situations where I want it to become red, but it's not becoming red, so the assertion that we've added isn't good enough. Let's check why. Tests frame is unique test. Constructors equals PyArrow. Column values. Oh, it's a Narwhals series. List column values. Okay, so if is instance column values. Do we have series imported anywhere? And is instance dot to native. Okay, nice. Now it actually fails. So we can go back and fix this. Now it passes, great. What about the rest of the test suite? It only takes 7 seconds, so let's run it. Okay, we did it, folks. That was easy. Nice. Let's just add a little comment. Should be backed by chunked array, not array. And test. I'm also curious if there's anything that's not being caught by the tests. So let's go here to Narwhals series arrow, and then let's say if is instance native series pa.array, then let's raise an error. And the shortest way I know of raising an error is to just divide 1 by 0. Coolio. Push and get it. Yeah, let's get it green again. Can't believe it. Like, I don't think this would have had an effect on anyone. Nonetheless, it's good to fix it. I wonder why the type checker didn't find that one. Ah, that's also a reason to strengthen our typing. And that's because we run MyPy in we run MyPy through my pre-commit. So it's in an isolated virtual environment where it doesn't have access to the type stubs. But that's a good question, actually. Would it be easy to just add PyArrow stubs to MyPy? Let's check that. So let's go here to pre-commit MyPy, and let's add in here PyArrow stubs. I think it's called PyArrow stubs. Yeah. And let's see what happens. Okay, it's taking its time. Looks like it's found 150 things. I presume there's quite a few false positives in there. What's this? Nonetheless, let's take a look. Array any has no attribute. Okay, this is a false positive because we know here that it's of categorical type. Missing type params for chunked array. Oh, I didn't realize that chunked array was generic. Okay, this is kind of nice that we get some unused type ignores. There's some other things which are really just data type dependent and which look like false positives, but I'm curious about whether it would have caught this particular issue. Untyped function arrow C stream. So let's see if it's detecting anything inside arrow slash data frame. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Argument 1 to arrow series as incompatible type Boolean array. Chunked, expected chunked array. Yet another reason to use ooh, there's another one. Okay. Well, is there? Well, okay, it's just because we know it's Boolean. I think it's actually I'm not sure. Don't know why this one is raising. We can take a look, but it did find this one. So despite its false positives, despite a bunch of things, it does actually find useful things. So we should enable this one in CI. Let's make an issue about that. So PyArrow stubs would have detected that this should have been chunked array instead of Boolean array. One more reason, as if any were necessary, to install, to use as many type checking features as are feasible. The one I'm not totally sold on pandas stubs, to be honest. I mean, typing pandas is a nightmare. Like, just to give you an example, like, say you have some index, then let's introduce a duplicate as well. If you do get lock and you pass in an integer, like say you have a int equals 2, then idx.getLock a, like the return type should be known statically, but it isn't. Because if I do get lock with an int and that int is 2, then the return type is a scalar 1. But if I change the value of a to 3 and then I do get lock, then all of a sudden I get a slice. What's up with that? I'm so angry. And I think we can make it worse. Let's put a 3 here. And now we get an NumPy array. What? Yeah. Right. Anyway, there's still something failing. What is it? Missing coverage, 60 and 61 in utils. This might be good news. No, it's not this. Tests utils. Oh, right, yeah, this makes sense. It's what I want to see. No, is it? Oh yeah, let's go back to the previous branch. Beautiful from Cam in the chat. Yes, I agree. Yeah, we really need to improve our typing game here. Yeah, here we are. Origin is duplicated. 60 and 61, so I think we can ignore this one. It's just a safety assertion anyway. Like, we're not actually meant to go in there. Code isn't supposed to go there. So it's fine for it to not be covered. Coverage. And while we're here, there's one more drive-through. Drive-by. Drive-through, sorry. There's one more drive-by I want to make, and that is in extremes, where we've got DuckDB, where we're doing --pre, but currently DuckDB doesn't have any pre-releases. So it's not actually going to show .dev. So I think we can remove this. Like, it's that they have the easiest pre-releases to install anyway. You just do --pre. So we can just do this. Drive by, remove assertion on DuckDB. On DuckDB what, sorry? Nightlies. This does fix a bug, technically a bug. Does this, yeah, I don't know, does this call for a patch release? Maybe not. Maybe we can just wait for Monday's release. No big deal. So let's just, we don't have long left, so I'll just make an issue about NiPy. So pre-commit is quite fast and nifty, but it runs everything in virtual environments. This is quite annoying for PyArrow. Well, for types libraries, for libraries that export types. Can either keep making the additional dependencies field larger and larger, or we can run MyPy from the main development environment. If the latter, which I'm increasingly leaning towards, then we need to have a way for lint dependencies to stay perfectly in sync. So we could have a requirements lint.file that pins all of them exactly. and then have a make file which has a make lint command, which does uv pip install -r requirements lint.txt, and then rough check, rough format, IPy. Because this pip install uv pip install -r is super quick if you've already got dependencies installed. Yeah. Some people have also floated the idea of UV sync or something, UV lock. I've not really explored that, but I'm open to it as well. So a precursor to this would be to add, let's make a separate issue about that. So to get my Py passing with PyArrow stubs installed. So the task is to add PyArrow stubs to the additional dependencies of my Py in pre-commit config.yaml and fix all the reported issues. Then this will make it much easier to, I want to reference both these issues. I want both these issues to reference each other. So let's use a little trick. I'm going to find out which is the next PR number, next issue number in Narwhals. So we've got 1961. So let's do this one first. Would be to address 1961. And then this would make it much easier to address 1962. So we can do this one first, and then this one. And let's label both of those as help wanted. Okay, yeah, we're pretty much at time. Looks like, yeah, looks like CI is green now. Nice. Yeah, let's see if anyone says anything. Then we can ship it. Also, just to answer my question about whether we need a patch release. Maybe we don't, because of no. I think we. Oh, well. Not going to do it for something so minor. This can wait until Monday's release. Cool. That's yeah. That's it from me. Thanks, everyone. Any requests in these last couple of minutes? And if not, then I do want to advertise a couple of things. So something I want to advertise is this. There's the calendar. So in the Narwhals calendar, you'll see that there's now a study group. So every 2 weeks, just before the live stream and then just after the community call, there's a study group where people can talk about what they've been working on, ask each other questions. And I'm really impressed that people are doing this, really supportive of the initiative. Please do feel free to liberally ask whatever you want that comes out of these sessions. Happy to help and support as much as I can, which Reminds me, I've got a typo here. Need to fix that. Cool. That's it from me for today then. Thanks, everybody, and all the best.